Heating tools, once you get your perm, that's an absolute no-no. It's Rabina. It's me on Sincerely Mrs. Griffin. Today we are going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of getting a curly perm. If you haven't watched my video yet where I answer frequently asked questions about my curly perm, watch that one first and then come back to this one. Right now we're going to be talking about some things that I wanted to cover in that last video that I didn't get to. Some of the do's and don'ts of getting a curly perm. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel and it helps my channel to grow. Also give this video a thumbs up. Anybody who's interested in getting a perm can find my content and hopefully it will help them, inspire them, navigate them through the whole process of getting a curly perm. Let's start out with the bad news first. We'll do the bad news first and then the good news. All right, some of the don'ts. When you get your perm, you'll want to not wash your hair for 48 to 72 hours after the perm. The reason why you don't want to wash your hair is because your curls are still forming during those 48 to 72 hours. And I highly recommend that you go ahead and wait the max amount of time, which would be 72 hours. Once you get your perm, it does have a little bit of a smell to it, but it's not outrageous or intrusive. It's something that is fine. You know, like when I got mine, I was fine with the smell and I don't feel like anyone could smell me. I remember asking some of my friends, you know, can you smell my hair? Does it smell bad? It's not like the perms that were back in the 80s and the 90s. This is the new wave perm that I got is actually a dry perm. It's not like a jerry curl where it's very wet. It's not like that, it's a dry perm. But one of the things that you don't want to do is that you don't want to wash it for 48 to 72 hours. I recommend that you wait the max amount of time. I think I went ahead and waited, because I'm extra, I went ahead and waited 4 days before I washed my hair out. I wanted to be sure, since I was paying for something expensive, that it was gonna last and that it was gonna stick and do what it needed to do. So I waited 4 days before I washed my hair. Another thing that you don't want to do following your perm is you don't want to use any sort of heat on your hair while those curls are still forming within that 48 to 72 hour mark. Heating tools, once you get your perm, that's an absolute no-no. That is going to cause, for one, it's going to cause your curls not to form properly. For another reason, if you're getting a curly perm, you know, like me, I wanted to have curls, so I wasn't reaching for those heating tools to take out the curls that I just paid to have put in. So that will be one thing that you don't want to do, is you don't want to have heat on your hair following your perm. And I'm a big proponent to say limited to no heat in general when it comes to hair, because heat will cause damage, it will cause breakage, and it will just, you know, mess up your curls. It will cause the curls to be elongated and take away their true proper form. Avoid heat, avoid washing your hair for 48 to 72 hours. Like I recommend that you go the max amount, and also avoid any sort of item on your hair that would cause tension, like a headband or a tightly wound head scarf that would leave indentations, or a hair tie, scrunchies, anything like that that would leave indentations. You want to avoid those things for the first 3 days of you having your perm, just so your hair can settle in its true form and that you can have the most beautiful curls that you can have. Let's transition and talk about some of the things that you do after you get your perm. If you're gonna choose to get a perm, choose to get it with a licensed beautician who has experience with doing perms. Because if somebody does not have experience with doing perms, it can really go badly quickly. So you want to choose the best stylist that you can find to work with your budget, somebody who has experience with doing perms, and do your research too. Come prepared with pictures, come prepared with videos, come prepared with knowledge so that you know what to expect when you sit down in that chair, and that you won't be surprised when the beautician pulls out, a blowtorch and you're thinking, well, Robina never said anything about a blowtorch when you're getting a perm in her videos. Just so that you won't be surprised. I always recommend do your research, get as much information as you can, and get yourself a licensed beautician, someone who has experience and expertise with perms. I was a natural girl and I went to permed hair. Some of you might go from relaxed straight hair into getting your wave nouveau or your curl reformation curly perm. Just do your research and be prepared. Another thing that I would recommend is that always, always, always moisturize your hair. Like I said, this is not a perm from the 80s. This is a dry perm, so your hair is going to need
moisture.
Let's say that together. Your hair is going to need moisture. You're gonna need to add that moisture in so that way your hair can be the healthiest hair that it can be. When you get this perm, don't think that it's just carefree. You're just gonna wake up in the morning and voila, you're ready to leave the house. No, you still have to moisturize your hair and take care of your hair. Honestly, they're equal things. If you have natural hair, if you have relaxed hair, if you have chemically treated hair, whether that be a chemical perm like what I have, or highlights, lowlights, any of those things, everybody's hair needs to be well taken care of with the things we put in our body and the things that we put on our body, on our hair, and on our scalp. Don't let your hair be dry, because dryness equals brittleness, equals breakage, equals damage. I know that since getting this wave nouveau, going from a natural girl into a permed girl, my curls look better whenever I use a lightweight moisturizer. Think about something that starts in the first ingredients with water, a water-based moisturizer. That is what's worked for my hair. Heavier moisturizers, the stuff that I use on my daughter's hair, tends to weigh down the curls, causing too much clumping, and it just looks weighed down. So a lightweight moisturizer would be great. Also, I would highly recommend that you be prepared to deep condition. If you have not been deep conditioning up to this point, be prepared to deep condition at least once a week. That will help your hair restore its moisture. That will help your hair the curls to look more bouncy and more fresh. So be prepared to moisturize at least once a week. If you are doing activities such as the pool, the beach, ocean water, salt water, things like that, if you're very active when it comes to being at the lake, places like that, you'll want to moisturize more often, because that water, the chlorine, the salt water, it's going to cause your hair to be a little bit more brittle, and deep conditioning will help strengthen your hair. Let's talk about getting your retouch. Here's what you can do. You can schedule an appointment to get a retouch. And what a retouch is where you get the roots of your hair, the new growth, done again. So it's a chemical process, again, just on the roots of your hair. Just as you would if you had highlights or lowlights, you would go over those areas that need to be refreshed. So that's what you're doing when you get your retouch. Or just like if you have a relaxer straight hair, when you go the second time to get your relaxer again, you're not relaxing your entire hair, so double processing the part of your hair that's already been processed. You're only processing the roots, the new growth. It's recommended that you go every 4 to 6 months, but again, it's personal choice. It depends on how quickly your hair grows, and it also depends on if your hair is naturally curly or if it is straight. Keep in mind that if your hair is straight and you have a curly perm, there's going to be a division between when your hair starts growing out and from the roots it's straight to where your old hair is that is curly. So that may not be the look that you're going for. For me, I had 4A hair before getting my curly perm, and so I don't know yet what my hair will look like because I'm only a month out from getting the original Wave Nouveau. For myself, I'm saying that I might get my hair retouched in December at the 6-month mark, because my husband is graduating with his doctorate degree, and so it's a big event, and so I just want to look the best that I can look on his graduation day. So I was thinking about waiting until that 6-month mark. But when that 6-month mark comes up, if I feel like I can stretch it and not put chemicals in my hair again, because it is a chemical process, so you do have to keep in mind that you're risking dryness, you're risking brittleness, the health of your hair every time you apply chemicals, whether that be a relaxer, a curly perm, highlights, lowlights, anything like that. You're putting your hair at risk. So the less often that I can do that, the better. So I will judge for myself when I get to that 6-month mark if I indeed want to do my retouch. And it's up to you too. It's your hair, so it's your choice. If your hair grows out naturally curly and you feel like, I think I can stretch this to 6 to 9 months, go ahead and stretch it, because that's going to help the life of your hair and be most beneficial to your hair. I hope that you have been enjoying these videos about getting a curly perm. Give this video a big thumbs up if you've been enjoying the content, and if you want to see more of it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more content. And if you want to receive my content first thing in your inbox as soon as I post, hit that post notification bell and YouTube will send you an email just as soon as I post my next video. Everyone, be safe. Don't forget your moisturizing. Don't forget to smile at people that you meet, because you don't know what type of day somebody's having. So be kind to those that you meet, and don't forget your mask if your area is like mine and it requires one because of the coronavirus and the COVID-19 situation that's going on here in the US. Don't forget your mask when you leave the house. Think smile, keys, mask. I'll talk to you guys soon.